Marigossi, everybody. Rudy Marigossi. Rudy, come back here. Rudy, come back here. Come on, Rudy. Can we just get a collective boo for Rudy?
Love you, man.
They are not elderly. Come on. Elderly. If they were elderly, then I'm attracted to the elderly. Am I right, everybody? We all want them. I'm just saying, if you guys are looking for a fourth, we're all available. All right, folks, next comedian come to stage. He's basically elderly. Please give it up. Please give it up for David Morin.
He can call you guys elderly, but I'm going to take a seat too. Hold up. I'm old, like he said. How's everyone doing tonight? How you guys doing? You enjoying yourselves? All right. So, I was going to talk about a whole different thing tonight, but go outside 2 comedians ago because I wanted to smoke a joint. And my wife's out there with me. She's like, you okay? And the smoke went down the wrong pipe. So I got the whole, she looks at me, she's like, I'm going to leave you alone for a little while. I'm like, I've been married to you for 18 fucking years. This is the first time you're going to leave me alone? Really? And she left me alone. She walked in the bar. I was out there by myself. I'm like, all right. Took a deep breath. Took another hit off my joint. I'm like, are you ready, Dave? I'm like, yeah, I'll go in there. So anyway, again, I'm married. And I work for her. Like, I work with her all day tonight. My wife owns a painting company. And now, I've never been fired from a company I worked for. I'm looking at myself like a reasonable employee. I'm pretty good at different jobs. So, I'm with her on a job site. And we're in this lady's house, and it's like 7 rooms, 3 bathrooms, and we're painting everything. And she comes over, and she's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, I don't know. So apparently I left like a little glob of paint inside cobwebs. She's like, David, you can't leave it like that. I'm like, and I was a little cranky. I work for my wife. I go home, and if you're married, it's like a job. It doesn't. If you fuck up, you don't get that raise that you wanted. It's the same thing at home. There's plenty of times I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm not getting it today. Okay. So she looks at me. She's like, stop swearing. I'm like, you're swearing at me, but she's doing it in this voice. David, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like this. What the fuck are you talking about? What did I do wrong? Like, I can deal with it at home. Like, if I don't take out the trash or I don't do the dishes and shit like that, I can take that. But working with her, and I swore, and she's like, you know what? You're fired. I'm like, well, I'm your husband. You can't fire me. She's like, no, we're at work. I'm not your wife. I'm like, wait a minute. There's times where you're not my wife, and there's times where I'm my wife. That's fucked up. Like, you can't look at it like that. She's like, no, seriously, you're fired. Get out of here. I'm like, really? I didn't have a vehicle. I drove in the truck with her. I walked for 55 minutes. No bullshit. This, right here, had to walk for 45 minutes. I got home. My sweat was sweating. Yeah. So she gets home. I'm like, you drove by me. No, I didn't. I'm like, bullshit. Like, I seen you. Like, I don't give a fuck if I had cataracts. I seen you drive by me. And I still had at least 20 minutes to get home from that point. I get home. She's not the same lady that I worked with. She's like, hey, babe, what are you doing? I'm like, are you kidding me? Your ass just fired me and made me walk home from work and you're going to be all lovey-dovey right now? Like, hey, you want to go do it? No. But the crazy part with the male and the female is different. Like, she fired me. Then she lays down in bed in a pair of underwear, puts her butt up. I'm like, oh, I'm right there. So I fuck up, and she'll be going. I'll be laying downstairs on the bed like this, naked, dick hanging out. She looks at me, she's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know, what do you think? She's like, no, I don't even want to talk to you. So there's a huge difference. People talk about sexism. That's a sexist thing. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're an Adonis. You piss off your wife, you ain't got no ass. She pisses you off, and like I say, she can be laying there like this. Yeah, you're done. Like, you can't help it. It's just, whoop, I'm in there. So my wife and I, we have 6 kids. The modern day Brady Bunch with no Alice. And no dog either. But we still have 3 sons living at home. Let me tell you something. I've brought this up before. So, I say goodnight to all my kids every night. All 6 of them that were at home. We have our different handshakes. My 3 daughters, my 3 sons. It's different for each of them. So I'm going into my son's room. And I don't knock. It's my fucking house. I'm not knocking on your door. You don't pay rent. You eat all my shit. I'm not knocking on your door. So I open up the door. I go in there. Modern day technology screwed everything up. When I was a kid, I used to hide my magazines. A phone literally goes flying up in the air. And I see it land on the floor. I'm like, oh, that's porn. And I turned around and I look at him. He's like this, with his hand sticking out. I'm like, are you kidding me? I walked in your room, you watch porn, and you're sticking out your hand to shake mine. No, that's not happening. So I leave, I go downstairs, my wife's like, what's wrong? I'm like, you don't want to know. So mind you, there's been times where she said the same thing to my daughter. She's like, David, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. You don't want to know what's going on with the girls. I was like, Michelle, you don't want to know. She's like, no, you look mad. I'm like, I just walked in our son's room and caught him spanking his fucking monkey. I was like, and the worst part was, he tried to shake my hand. He did. No, that's not happening, dude. That's not how this works. Like, when I was young, we used to hide. We had magazines. What are you, about 58, 60? We had magazines. Don't tell me you didn't have magazines. There's no way. Big hairy bushes and shit, that's the old school stuff. That's what we had. You couldn't go and hide someplace and play with your shit. Like, you had to take a magazine with you. I got a minute left. I have 6 kids, dude. I can do a lot less than 30 seconds. So, yeah, we have 6 kids at home, and I catch them doing different shit. So my 3 daughters, my oldest one wanted to go on her first date. She was 15. I'm like, okay, I'm taking you. So we get to her boyfriend's house. She goes to get out of the car. I'm like, where you going? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, sit the fuck down. No, I just like that, said the fuck word, sit the fuck down. I just don't care. So I go out, and it's a Portuguese kid. I go walking over to him. I was like, listen, I'm going to explain something. He was like, what? I'm like, you serious that guy? He's like, yeah. I was like, I want to tell you something. You can never say it to her. He's like, what's that? I was like, if you ever disrespect her, I was like, I will kill your family in front of your face. So he couldn't tell my daughter this. Years later, he finally says, oh, fuck off. So years later, he's like, can I finally tell her? And he tells her, she's like, why would you do that? I'm like, I just wanted to scare him. That's all I wanted to do. Now I sell the kid weed. And he comes over my house. I make fucking $100 a week off of him. It's legal. I have a license. It's a driver's license, but I have a license. Apparently I gotta get off stage. Have a good night, everybody.
David Bourne, everybody. All right.